Hi there, it's Wednesday the 1st of April. And what's that behind you? April Fool. Ha ha ha. This week we're thinking about the fact that God is our Father. And on Monday we were reminded that God is committed to us as our Father for the rest of our lives and beyond. Yesterday we were reminded that God takes great delight in us, not just for the things that we do, but simply for who we are, the fact that we are His children. He takes great delight in us, just as we do in our children and grandchildren. And today I'd like us to think about the fact that God as our Father gives us opportunities to grow. Just as when we had our children, when they were young, we did most of the things for them. As they grow, we do less and less, and we give them more and more responsibility. And our hope and desire is that they will grow up and they will become independent and they will live their own lives and not come back to the house and bring their washing back to be done when they are older. But God is the same with us as His children. He gives us opportunities to grow. He doesn't do everything for us. Perhaps when we are newly saved, we are like spiritual babies. God does quite a lot for us. But as we grow and mature, He does less and less for us. And sometimes that can be confusing for Christians who perhaps don't see the answers to prayer that they perhaps saw when they were just first saved, because God actually is looking for the answers to prayer to come through them as they grow and mature, and there's more responsibility upon us to live for the Lord and to work out our own salvation, as the Bible says. We've been watching a programme on the television, Ruth and I, called Race Across the World. I don't know if you're watching it. It's very interesting. People are trying to get from one part of the South America all the way down to the very south of South America on their own with a limited budget, etc. No aeroplanes allowed. They have to find other forms of transport. And there's a brother and sister who are paired together. And the sister is quite nervous and shy, and she doesn't want to go and speak to strangers, especially because most of them are speaking Spanish or Portuguese and she doesn't. And he's saying to her, no, you go and do it. I can do it, but you go and do it because it'll be good for you. And she's saying, no, I don't want to. I'm scared. And he's trying to encourage her, saying, no, but it will help you to grow. And God does that for us. Sometimes we say, we don't want to do this, Lord, but God is saying, you can do it, and it will be good for you to do it, because you will grow through this experience. Many, many, many times in the Bible, God does that with His people. And one of those occasions is found in the book of Exodus, at the end of chapter 6, verse 28. Now, when the Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt, He said to him, I am the Lord, tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you. But Moses said to the Lord, since I speak with faltering lips, why would Pharaoh listen to me? Then the Lord said to Moses, see, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. Now previously with another Pharaoh, as you remember during the time of Joseph, God spoke to Pharaoh in a dream directly. He didn't use Joseph to speak to Pharaoh. He used Joseph to interpret his dream, but primarily, first of all, he spoke to Pharaoh directly. So why doesn't God speak to Pharaoh again directly here? Why is God telling Moses to go to Pharaoh? Especially when Moses is saying that he is feeling nervous and feels like he doesn't have the words to say. Well, precisely for that reason, God is wanting to give Moses this opportunity to grow, to overcome his fear, to trust in him. And God says that He will be with him, and He will make Moses almost like God to Pharaoh, in the sense that the power of Moses' words will come to Pharaoh as though they were coming from God. Here is one opportunity for God to give Moses to grow. And He does that for us every day. What opportunities is God giving you today and through this coronavirus crisis to grow? Interesting. God bless you today. Speak to you again tomorrow.